Hi everyone, my name is Lisa and I run this channel, and I just wanted to do a quick intro video and show my face because I don't think I've shown my face yet, and just say a little bit about what this channel is about. This channel is still becoming a channel, so I'm kind of finding my voice as I go, but it's really about the life of a creative Christian. I'm not a professional artist you're going to find in a museum or in a gallery. But I am a constant creator. I'm a poet. I am published a little bit, and I might self-publish also. But I'm a poet, and I'm an artist, and I'm a journaler. And this is really about living the creative life as a housewife and a Christian. Now, you don't have to be a woman to enjoy this space, because this is going to apply to anybody who's Christian and creative. But it's a help because I'm a housewife. So like I said, my name is Lisa. I've been married for 12 years. I have an 11-year-old daughter who's absolutely wonderful, and my husband's wonderful too. And I stay at home, and that enables me to have a lot of time to create. Obviously, I've still got housework to do and cooking. This morning I was prepping a lasagna, a crock pot lasagna that my family's going to have tonight. But it leaves me with a lot of time to write and create, and I absolutely love that. However, being a professional is out of reach for me for a few reasons. One, I'm not geographically stable. I move a lot. My husband has a job that requires us to move. So I don't have the ability to set down roots anywhere. Also, I have bipolar disorder, and this channel is not about that, but it will come up because it's a big part of my life, and it impacts my creativity, and it affects how I walk with God. But the bipolar means that basically I don't ever want to end up in a situation, I think I mentioned this before, where somebody puts in an order for my art and I can't fulfill it because I'm feeling really badly and I can't go out, and now my business is suffering and people are getting angry because they're not getting what they asked for. Which of course would be totally understandable. If you order something, it shouldn't take 3 weeks to get it shipped. But there are times when I'm just not able to go out and do things myself. So having an art business just doesn't seem wise unless there was some way to do it without ever involving the post office. But even then, it's just too much. So what do you do when you want to have a successful creative life, but you don't have any contacts, you don't go to art school, and selling your work is something you either feel like you couldn't keep up with or you don't have the opportunity to do, or maybe you just don't like it. I mean, there is nothing wrong with making money off your art. If you can do it, if somebody wants to pay you for your creativity and you're able to keep up with that, then by all means, take that cash and go for it. But for those of us for whom that's not possible, how do you define a successful creative life? Well, as a Christian, your number one thing should be pleasing God. So ask yourself, does my creativity please God? Am I creating things that He would enjoy, that are pleasing to Him? To that end, I've recently started Bible journaling, and you will see some Bible journaling content on my page, although this is not a Bible journaling account. But I want to know that I please God with my work, first and foremost. So I wrote a couple of notes here. The first thing to do to have a successful creative life, when you are not selling anything by choice or by circumstance, or, you know what, maybe you're painting your heart out, you're trying to sell, and nobody's buying. What then? I mean, we talk a lot about how if you build it, they will come. If you paint it, they will buy it. But the reality is we have a hard economy right now. A lot of people are struggling. There are probably plenty of people who would like your art who simply aren't going to pay the $200, $400, $600, $800 plus dollars for it because they don't have it, because it's not a wise investment in a time where groceries are sky high and everything else is really bad. So how do you define success then? Well, success is defined by pleasing the Lord, but you can also find greater feelings of success by creating community. And that's something I'm trying to do with this channel. And it's something I've also done in like my old neighborhood in Florida. I started an embroidery and sewing group to kind of get together with other women and enjoy just some art. So create an art group, get together and practice with other people, or do it over Zoom. Like next week, if my mom is feeling up for it, there's unfortunately been a terrible tragedy in my family. It's very sad. My parents' cat died and she was only 6 years old. It was very sudden. It was kidney failure. And she didn't have a lot of time. They did what they could for her. But if my mother is up for it, we're going to paint together. And it's a great way to just connect with other people. Also, do art for therapy. That's the second thing you can do. Art is therapeutic. You don't need to get paid for it to be worthwhile. Getting paid is nice. Getting paid is awesome. Everybody likes it. But if you do it for therapeutic purposes, you'll never be disappointed. And that's part of how I deal with paintings and such that don't turn out right. I wasn't painting them for a gallery. I wasn't painting them for other people's eyes, although I do have an Instagram, which I'll get to in a minute. But I was painting them to either get closer to God or to help me cope with bipolar disorder in daily life. So it's okay if I make a stray mark or some colors don't blend the way I had hoped, because that's not why I'm doing it. So let me look at my other note here. So I've got communing with God, developing community, very important, and also sharing your work. I recommend Instagram. It's not a great app, but it's kind of the app that we have for picture sharing. I have an Instagram called Holographic Sundays, and then I have an Instagram for also just marriage and family stuff, and that's a separate account, but I don't blend the two. But yeah, I would say in order to find meaning as an artist or a writer or a musician or whatever you are without selling anything, find community. Show your work. You can have a website or a blog. You can get on Instagram. You can have a TikTok. And also pray. Sometimes, like, this has been a hard journey for me because I'm somebody who used to be very, very ambitious. I thought I was going to be a professor. I thought I was going to be widely published. And I do have a chapbook out that I'm very proud of from a small press that I really, really loved. So I'm proud of that. But I'm not the person I thought I was going to be. And I'm actually happier than I think I would have been if I was that person. I get to be home all day. I do what I want. I don't have to do paperwork or put up with any crap. So it's a really nice life, but it is different because I always thought that I would be that professional person with the credentials. And now what I've had to do is feel like a whole human being and redefine success and be okay with myself without credentials, without big name publications, without being in a museum somewhere. For my writing, I decided I didn't want to do traditional publishing anymore. I do have my chapbook out, like I said, and that was a wonderful experience. But poetry publishing, I'll do a separate video on that. That's just kind of a mess. So I don't want to deal with all that. So yeah, I've had to redefine success, and I hope you'll join me on this journey of finding community, and please feel free to leave a comment, like, and subscribe. If you're a Christian, if you're a creative, if you enjoy books, I will be having a lot of book reviews. I've got a couple of reviews up already. I'm going to have some more. But if any of that sounds like you, please join me.